Good morning and welcome to Wadmalaw. Today's devotional is indirectly the result of Brian McGreevy, as he is affectionately known by the clergy of St. Philip's. Jeff started it. Anyway, Brian sent me 2 short video interviews of Bono, the lead singer of the band U2, who is a Christian. In those videos, Bono is talking about his love of the Psalms and how they are so honest, not dressed up, but real people with real feelings, real desires, and real fears. Bono is particularly fond of Eugene Peterson's translation of the Psalms in the Message Bible. The video was linked to another one in which Bono went to visit Eugene Peterson before his death at his home on Flathead Lake in Montana. And he thanked him for his Message translation of the Bible. It was a touching meeting. Eugene Peterson was a Presbyterian minister for several decades, and he wrote over 35 books and translated the entire Bible into what is known as the Message Bible. He was also Kendall Harmon's seminary professor of Christian spirituality at Regent College. And I bring up Kendall because he led our Cayuga retreat last fall on the subject of prayer. Kendall quoted from the eulogy of one of Eugene Peterson's sons who spoke at his funeral in 2018. It's actually the ending of a poem that Leif Peterson wrote about his father. And that last part has become a motto for me, a constant that I've memorized. And it's what I close these devotionals with almost every week. Leif Peterson revealed that he used to joke with his father and tell him that he only had one sermon, one message, despite decades of creativity in sharing the Bible with people in new ways. And here is the poem that Leif Peterson wrote of at his father's funeral, and I quote, "It's almost laughable how you fooled them, how for 30 years, every week, you made them think that you were saying something new. They thought you were a magician in your long black robe, hiding so much up your ample sleeves, always pulling something fresh and making them think it was just for them. And that's just the beginning. There is more. Casual conversations at church picnics, unmemorable chats at the local Denny's over eggs and toast, counseling sessions that saved marriages, maybe even lives. And they didn't know what a fraud you were. They didn't know how simple it all was. They were blind to your secret, only saw the magic, how you performed, how you made the mysterious, the ominous, the holy into a cup of coffee, how you made a cup of coffee into an act of grace, and how you could make God into something that worked for them. It's so funny that they didn't know this. So many times I've wanted to expose you, tell them what you've been up to, tell them all what you've been up to, and now you're doing it all again. You've got this new group fooled into thinking you're worth millions. They're printing it on t-shirts, coffee mugs, message pads, a new version every week for some new flock. But I must say this, they've widened your audience. Now you're fooling them all over the world, churches, schools, homes, and prisons. It's so funny because I alone know your secret. I alone know what you've been doing, how you fool them all, taking something so simple, something a child could understand, and making it into a career, a vocation, an empire. I know, because for 50 years you've been telling me the secret. For 50 years you steal into my room at night and whisper it softly to my sleeping head. It's the same message over and over, and you don't vary it one bit. God loves you. He's on your side. He's coming after you. He's relentless. And here's a song based on what we might regard as the most influential, important, famous psalm that says pretty much the same. Psalm 23 by Stuart Townend. The Lord's my shepherd, I'll not want. He makes me lie in pastures green. He leads me by the still, still waters. His goodness restores my soul. He guides my ways in righteousness, and He anoints my head with oil, and my cup it overflows with joy. I feast on His pure delights, and I will trust in You alone, and I will trust in You alone, for Your endless mercy follows me. Your goodness will lead me home. And though I walk the darkest path, I will not fear the evil one, for You are with me, and Your rod and staff are the comfort I need to know. And I will trust in You alone, and I will trust in You alone, for Your endless mercy follows me. Your goodness will lead me home. Your goodness will